Hi, I'm Michelle, Pediatric Sleep Consultant and mom. If your baby goes to bed beautifully but then wakes up 30 to 60 minutes after they fall asleep, you are dealing with what's called a false start. It can be frustrating because bedtime went so well, only for them to wake up right when you sit down to dinner, or to take a shower, or to watch a show in the evening. Today, I'm going to explain what false starts actually are, why they happen, and what you can do to get them corrected and fixed in just a couple nights without cry it out. A false start is when your baby wakes up within the first sleep cycle, roughly 30 to 60 minutes after bedtime. It's different from a night waking later on because in those first 60 minutes, your baby is transitioning into deeper sleep while melatonin rises. Most parents think false starts mean the baby didn't get full enough or needs more soothing, but the root is usually timing, either not tired enough or too tired for the bedtime. False starts often happen because your baby simply wasn't tired enough at bedtime. This usually comes from a wake window that was too short, naps that ran too long, or a day with more total sleep than their age typically needs. When sleep pressure isn't high enough, babies can fall asleep quickly because going to sleep is easy, but staying asleep is the challenge. If you notice bedtime battles are minimal, they fall asleep in under 5 minutes, or they wake up happy after that false start, undertiredness may be the cause. Small timing tweaks, usually 15 to 30 minutes, often make a big difference. On the other end of the spectrum, false starts also happen when babies are overtired. When they've been awake too long or had a day of short naps, their body releases cortisol, a stress hormone that makes sleep more fragmented and harder to stay asleep through. Overtiredness often shows up as fussing at bedtime, taking longer to fall asleep, waking upset after that first sleep cycle, or very early morning wakings. For overtired babies, an earlier bedtime, reducing stimulation before bed, or protecting a cat nap can really help reset things quickly. The third cause of false starts comes from a bedtime routine that doesn't actually prepare a baby's brain for sleep. Even small things like a long feed that ends right at sleep onset, stimulating play before bed, or screen exposure from TVs and phones can signal the brain to stay alert instead of winding down. Screens and bright lights suppress melatonin, which is the hormone that signals it's time to sleep. And when the routine ends abruptly with a feeding or stimulation as the final step, babies can drift off quickly, but their brains haven't transitioned into sleep mode, which leads to that predictable wake up 30 to 60 minutes later. The fix is gentle and simple. Create a consistent wind down sequence that gradually reduces activity, reduces light exposure, and ends with calm connection, not stimulation. When the routine matches the goal of sleep, babies settle more deeply and stay asleep longer. Now let's break down the 3 fixes that solve false starts most consistently. And remember, you don't have to change everything at once. Small shifts done consistently over a few days can create big results. Fix number 1, cap naps if needed. If your baby takes a long afternoon nap, especially anything close to 3 hours, that can push bedtime later or can reduce sleep pressure. You can cap the final nap to protect enough wake time before bed, or gently wake from long daytime naps so the balance of day sleep and night sleep makes sense for their age. Fix number 2, adjust wake windows. This is usually the quickest win. For reference, babies around 4 to 6 months often do best with 2 to 2.5 hours of awake time. 6 to 8 month babies usually need 2.5 to 3 hours, and babies 8 to 10 months often need 3 to 3.5 hours. Use these as starting points and adjust in small increments. 15 minutes makes a difference. Fix number 3, create a soft, predictable bedtime routine. Start sending sleep signals early. Dim lights about 30 minutes before bedtime, choose calming, low stimulation activities, and aim for feeding to be a part of the routine, but not the final step before sleep. The most important thing isn't having a complicated or long routine, it's having a consistent order that stays the same night to night. When you blend the right timing with the right routine, most false starts resolve within several days. So let's talk about how to respond in the moment when your baby wakes shortly after being put down, whether that's 10 minutes or 45 minutes later. First, stay calm and predictable. This wake up is usually a sign that the brain hasn't fully transitioned into deeper sleep yet. That means your response matters less than the tone and consistency of it. If your baby wakes happy, you can wait a few minutes before going in. Some babies will resettle on their own once they get comfortable. If your baby wakes up upset, offer reassurance in the same style as bedtime. That may look like hands-on, shushing, or brief comforting while keeping the lights low and your interaction minimal. The message we're sending is it's still sleep time. Avoid turning this wake up into playtime or feeding unless you are certain that they need it. Extra stimulation at this point can restart the entire wake cycle and make it harder to get back to sleep. If your baby seems wide awake, gently reset the routine without fully starting over. Head back to the dim room, do a few minutes of calming, repeat a couple steps of the bedtime routine, and try again. Think of it like gently rewinding the tape, not restarting the whole movie. The key is respond with comfort, but keep the boundary that nighttime is for sleep. Most false starts improve quickly once the timing and routine support deeper sleep cycles. With these changes, most families see improvement within 3 to 5 days, especially once wake windows and the bedtime routine are aligned. If you're making timing adjustments, give each change at least 2 nights before changing again. Sleep responds best to consistency, not consistent tweaking. And if false starts still happen from time to time, that doesn't mean the progress isn't working. Look for patterns and progress, not perfection, and celebrate progress, whether that's one less waking, faster settling, or a calmer bedtime experience. If you want help figuring out your baby's ideal schedule, download my free age-based wake window and nap guide. I'll put the link below. Thank you so much for watching. If this was helpful, hit subscribe because I release videos focused on practical sleep solutions that actually work and don't require cry it out. Comment below and let me know, how old is your little one and what's your biggest sleep challenge right now? I'd love to create content that supports exactly where you are in your journey.